Alright, so far, I guess this is the lid. It looks like the lid of the box. Filter, a tip, I guess the handle's in here. This part is the hose that gets put into the paint bucket. And although we're going to mix the paint bucket with the drill to make sure the paint's mixed, we don't have to bother about thinning out the paint this time around. Very well packaged, solid. I guess that's what happens when you get things from Germany. Quite light. It's lighter than the last unit. As far as a pump, it's not very big. It looks quite simple, and that's going to be a really good thing. The simpler the better. Get the handle. It's spring loaded. I thought it would be screws, but it's spring loaded, I guess, so you can take it off easy. There you go. That's pretty easy. I think it's 7 kilos. It's just a rubber cap. Can you come and have a, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing yet. So basically there's only 2 places to put anything. And I am going to read the manual and watch the video on the getting started. But basically it looks like this hose goes onto this and this hose goes onto this. I can't imagine it being much more than that. Just having a look at how it would work. Yeah, that's straightforward. Okay. I wonder what that one is. I don't know. I'll definitely watch a video before I get started, but it looks pretty self-evident that this should be here. And maybe this is a cleaning nozzle where you put fresh water, but of course I have to check that. Alright, that goes on. This goes on. I'm not really sure why we have 2 hoses, but I guess it will become clearer as we start using it. Alright, and then I guess we put the clip over the end to make it nice and tight on both of the hoses. Yep. Quite tight, the clip, so it feels pretty trustworthy. Yep. Okay. A little bit of extra packaging. There's not much to it. I mean, it literally is it pumps paint through a hose and that sprays it onto a wall. Oh, now I get it. This is where the actual paint comes from. It is so simple. I don't know how anyone could get it wrong. It looks pretty straightforward. Here's the hose. I will not remove this tag. Yeah, I will. Huh. It's a warning. if you are injected, if you spray yourself and you are injected with paint, do not treat it as a simple cut and then you have to go to a physician because you've just injected paint under your skin. Pretty scary stuff. So yeah, it's a serious machine. It's not for kids to play with, that's for sure. We'll keep that in the top. I have a shifter somewhere, don't I? Old type America, it's called a monkey wrench. Or a spanner. Alright. I'm not going to overdo it, I just do it tight, so the machine even lifts up how tight I've done it. But I'm not going to overdo it, I don't want to put stress on this joint. I'll leave it as it is. Clearly this would go into a bucket of paint. What we can do is we can listen to how loud this machine is, and then we'll have a look at the gun itself. I'm curious at the volume. It's a 250M. Let's see. It's quieter than the last one, which is already good. What will happen is though that it'll suck the paint up into the tube, and then once the pressure has built up inside the pump, it actually will stop pumping, stop creating the pressure until you start spraying, and then it starts to build up pressure again. The hoses and everything seem to be pretty straightforward, and now we can look at the handle. It's so nice the way everything's packaged. It's like a classic unboxing video. Alright, and this is all name brand stuff. I think what we tried to do before was save a bit of money by buying something from France that I've never heard of. And in doing the research for painting though, high efficiency airless means that there's actually less pressure in the hose and less overspray. Up to 55% less overspray. That's what they said in the ad. Alright, here's the... Oh, it's rubber. Oh no, it's plastic. Plastic here. It's a lock of some kind. How's that work? Ah, okay. So there's a lock, so you don't accidentally paint it when you put it down. Alright, under here looks like where the filter would go. And this bar is the filter itself for filtering the paint, and then the filter chamber which screws in as part of the handle here. Also, it came with two tips. It came with a 311 tip. If you can see, that's the tip there. But the 311, it's fatter on the back and thinner on the front. And it's the nozzle and it shows how it sprays. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. There's a flat line there. That one is the 311, has an arrow, so you can't really get it wrong. It clips into the top of the gun and you point it in the direction that the paint is going. This one is the 517. I think that's the broader spray. And if you can see that too, it looks like a bigger hole or a bigger sort of nozzle on the end. And again, it's a very simple system where you can see it has an arrow. If the paint does get clogged, you simply reverse the tip, spray out the block, and turn the tip around again. I've not done it, I've only seen it on video. So it's new to me. These filters look quite good. They're steel mesh stainless steel mesh. Hopefully you can reuse them because I would like to. And this part is very solid. It's been turned on a steel lathe. Yep, very heavy. It's probably even almost as heavy as the gun. Alright, let's see how it goes. Is that working? How does that work? I'm sure that goes in here, but I don't know how. Oh no, it doesn't. Just goes straight up. Alright. I'll just show that action again. Here's the filter. I guess I should put the... I guess I need 2 spanners to open this thing. And this would go inside. Yeah, I still need 2 spanners to open it. Either way, I'll have a closer look at that in a minute. Put the filter up through the gun. I do it tight, but not too tight, because I don't know what the right amount is. And then the tip, the tip goes up here. Put in the 311. Oh, it spins. There's some sort of lock on it. I'm not sure how that works. Lock. No. It's not a lock that goes under anything. It's kind of more... I'll try to show it to you. Alright, you can do it by hand. You unscrew this bit a little bit like putting on a drill bit, and this comes loose. When it's a little bit loose, not too loose, you put it with a point facing yourself, and you can see this piece of plastic sits inside this circle here. There it goes, snug, and then it's in the middle. It's pointing backwards at the moment, but still I'll tighten it so it's straight. Finger tight, and then turn this nozzle so now it's pointing in the right direction. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. I'll figure this out, hopefully, but I'm sure the filter goes inside this chamber. Well, this is spinning, but nothing's happening. Weird. I'll check out how to put the filter in. Anyway, that'll happen in a few minutes. I'll put the lid on. It's the last piece of the puzzle. Somehow these 2 pieces click together.
They don't click together.
Oh no, they split in the middle. Okay, put that part on. It's just 2 points here. One. See that? Okay, so that's a little door frame. Can click down, it locks, so it doesn't fly open. That's pretty good. I guess you just keep your little tools and bits in here. Right. With painted fingers, it might be more difficult. But still, that's just a storage space. Yeah, it clips down. It's not necessary. Yeah, I'll figure out how to put this filter in.
On?
Alright, I wasn't sure. Again, like most guys, you know, I just pull the thing out of the box and start putting it together. I barely look at the instructions like most people. But when you have a unit this simple, I don't really know how much you need the instructions. You do a little bit. I realized too that as I kept trying to spin this bottom nut, it just spun and spun and spun and doesn't do anything. And I thought, well, I'm not doing this right. I did have a look in the book and it splits in the center. And this center part will split. And this is where the filter will go. For that, I have to use the second nut and just simply turn it. Right, it comes with a filter, and I guess that's another filter. This first filter looks more coarse, and the second filter looks more fine. To tell you the truth, I think we'll just stay with the coarse one that's already in there. But it looks as simple as installing maybe a ink into a pen. I'll use the coarse one for our white paint because we have low quality paint to paint the walls with. Alright, just push it right in till it stops, and then the second half of the chamber screws right in. Of course, I'll use the spanner at the end to make sure it's tight. The last thing I would want is some paint. Cool, not too tight, but just tight enough that I know it's not going to come undone. And this thing's, as long as I keep this thing straight, it's pretty much ready to go. This is the last part. Oh, I see why that can spin. So you don't have to turn the whole gun. Just the last nut spins alone. It's pretty good. If you're worried about the connection in there, you could use some of that plumber's tape, and that would keep a tighter connection. But at this point, it's brand new out of the box, and I'm not sure if I really need to worry about things like plumber's tape. Alright, that's nice and tight now. That's the unit. It's all ready to go. I'm going to just walk off and see how long this hose is. Alright. I think a bit of a tight curl at the moment. I'm just trying to straighten it out. See how easy it is to do that. There we go. Whoops. Okay, almost there. This will be good for doing the top of the stairs, because the paint bucket can stay at the bottom of the stairs and I can be at the top of the stairs far away from that dangerous paint bucket. So 9 meters is a pretty good distance. I imagine you could get a lot painted with that. Including the ceiling. And with the wand, it should be just as easy. Actually, I wouldn't mind putting the wand on now just to see what that looks like. Alright, so here's the handy dandy wand, especially for painting ceilings. It's an extension, still uses the same tip. It's basically the same nozzle. How expensive was this?
60.
60 bucks. But of course it's a Wagner one. And at this point we just want to stick with the name brand because we want to feel we can trust them. Alright, I'll take the tip out. The whole tip is coming off. This whole thing, it doesn't really do anything, it just holds the nozzle in place. It's not high tech, but it gives you an idea of which direction the paint is going to spray from. This is the one, the wand, which will make it much easier to spray directly above your head. It's got a very big nut on it. Very big. Shit. Alright, I'll just do it hand tight. It's pretty tight though. Right, and now I can put the nozzle on again. The 311. That's the small one. No, I think we'll go for the fat nozzle. 517. Now I'll start with a small nozzle, just so I don't freak myself out. Alright, point it backwards or towards you. Towards you. What type? Okay. That's it. Correction. Alright, I can still turn the nozzle. That's it, it's pretty tight, it's good. Feels nice. With the tip like this, the paint will spray flat this way. And if we turn the tip sideways, it'll paint vertically. I'll do horizontal because our walls are all horizontal. Vertical. I'll do it horizontal so it sprays evenly over the vertical surface. Alright, after lunch, I'll give this a go. And I'm really looking forward to testing out the new Wagner 250M.